Hello. I don't know what I want to talk about. Yesterday I was talking about when I worked at a biker bar and got my shirt ripped off. And it's funny because I've told that story like for years now, so you wouldn't think I'd remember important parts of that story. I did forget. I remember standing in front of the jukebox when she grabbed me, okay? That wasn't even it. I forgot that she had an argument with her boyfriend at the bar. They were arguing, like screaming at each other. There was only like 2 people in the whole place, and it was them at that time. And like I said, I was giving them upgrades of their tequila. I was giving them premium tequila, and little tiny Bianca, she lost her way because she was outweighed by the alcohol. Obviously, she's a little tiny girl. So I remember being like, you guys gotta cut that out, and because I'm standing right in front of you, like. And she said something like, "Fuck off, bitch," something along those lines. Me, fuck off. Okay, all right. Okay. But come here, I gotta tell you something. She's like, what? And I'm like, no, come here, really. I gotta tell you something. You gotta come here. I gotta tell you something. She's like, one of those. And I was like, oh, hey, you're cut off. Like that, okay? So I cut her off. And she went to slap me, and I grabbed her head, and I, like, jammed it on the bar, like, boom. And then we got her out. And that's when she came back and got me with tore my shirt off. I was wondering, like, I'm thinking, boy, I do remember her being upset. I know I kicked him out because of the arguing, and I'm like thinking, and I'll watch these videos afterwards, and I'll watch them, and I'll be like, I forgot like a huge part of something, you know what I mean? Like, kicking people out of bars is literally the best part of being a bartender. There's nothing better than kicking somebody out. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. It's the best. It's a power trip, and everybody kind of gets on board with you for a second, which normally I don't have people getting on board with me, so it was nice in those situations. But another thing with that situation in particular, the reason why I kept bringing up the Hells Angels and some nose candy and all that jazz is because the woman that I had take over my shift that night, she stole all the money and bought an 8-ball, and I didn't know what that was. And I went into work the next day. Now, mind you, I thought I saved my job. I really thought I saved my job because I was like, I'm out. I see her walking down the street. I would have had to kick her ass in front of like 30 people then, not just regular people, just a lot more people I'd have to kick her ass in front of. So I was like, okay, I got this made, right? When I left her, I thought, okay, I was responsible and I didn't let myself get caught up in all that shit and bloody blue. The woman that I asked, I said, take all my money, please finish my shift. She did take all my money, but not only did she take my money, but she took like the cash register's money and went and bought drugs. She was boning some young kid too. Ooh, she was ugly. She was fugly, actually. She was like Captain Fug. She didn't have a good body, She had like a weird pear shape, like a weird, like it looks like she smells or something, didn't even make sense at this young kid. He was smoking hot. I didn't think he had kids my age, but he was like probably 15 years younger than me. I mean, guys, it doesn't take much for a guy to have a kid. But yeah, she and him, they went, that was a Chris too, actually. There was lots of Chris's. They went and stole their money. And so when I went to work the next time, I was fired because that was my responsibility. It was my shift. So another job bites the dust, okay? I didn't mind that job. Working at Katie's Pub was something. Like I said, you'd get your Hells Angels in there, which I would like to tell you, if you think for one fucking minute that people are nice at a yacht club and not nice at a biker bar, you're way wrong. In fact, the biker bar is nicer. Everybody's a lot more respectful. First of all the bikers I know already have money. It doesn't even matter then. Money doesn't fucking matter. Okay, if they want to do something, they do it. It doesn't really matter, especially if you're part of a club like that. And the owners and everybody was in that situation, and I didn't know it, so it's easier to blame me than to blame the person that did it, because they knew she did it, but they had to write off, whatever. So, like I said, like the fair would come into town, and these guys, I don't know why, but sometimes a guy will really, 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 really like me. And I think it's because I remind them of somebody that they saw on TV, or maybe like in a movie or in a song. And that'll happen, These guys will get real obsessed. Like, scary. Like, why are you giving him a drink? Scary. Like, that's my job. That's what I do. And I wouldn't know them from Adam. I wouldn't know them from fucking hole in the ground. If I could even remember their name, it'd be surprising. And then these guys would, like, take a claim on you. Like, okay, you're mine, you're mine, you're mine. But I don't think that's a Hell's Angel thing. I think it was just, like, the situation. Well, it might be a Hell's Angel thing, but I think it was just a situation of that bar. That bar was very toxic. There was a guy in there named Chef. He was an asshole. He was a fucking asshole all the time. Never tipped, none of this shit. I kicked him out all the time. I kicked him out nightly. And then he'd go and call the owners and be like, oh, it was like, no. Okay, first of all, I'm not going to wait on you all night long and you not tip me. Don't wear your fucking checks in here. Checks are what they call chef pants, because they're all checks, they're all like squares. So he would come in with his checks and his chef coat on, okay? I'm a certified chef. You fucking take that shit off. You don't wear that out to a fucking bar. You don't wear your whole outfit out to the bar. That is work attire. That'd be like a doctor wearing scrubs to the bar. Like, you just don't do it. You just don't do it. It doesn't make any sense. That guy ended up dying, man. He was dead for like 6 days before they found him. But so I would take my kids into the bar, like I said, when there was nobody there, because it was like I ran the place. When nobody was there was nobody there. So I'd take in my kids and, like, say if there was a bartender, and they'd make us some Shirley Temples and all that jazz. And I thought it was really cool, because when I was a little girl, my dad would take me to Bessemer, and we'd go get beer. And we went to Bessemer because there were no taxes. And I'd always have to listen to the baseball game and shit like that on the way there and back, the Pirates. And my dad would sit me on the bar, and I remember pickled eggs. Pickled eggs. A big jar of pickled eggs. And that was my treat. That was my treat, to go with my dad to get beer in Bessemer. Was pickled eggs. And also, there was a lot of cigarette machines back then. And it had these beautiful knobs on them. They were like jewels. And I pull those, God forbid, even if I did get a pack of cigarettes, I'd probably hand it in. But here's what's weird. I don't know if that's really, like, legal now. Like, if I think about taking the kids in. Now, I took my kids in because my dad took me in, and I worked there. My dad didn't even work at that bar. I mean, we just went. And it was like almost an hour drive, too. So it was like a big fucking deal. So I brought my daughter and my son in to teach them how to play pool. Yep. And we're drinking some Shirley Temples. We're having a damn good time. I'm showing them, like, how do you hit the ball, hit it up high, hit it low, blah, blah, blah. Give them all the deets. All the deets. My daughter had to go to the bathroom. And now all the wood in this place was, like, just shot to shit. Like, just swelled up wood. It was old. Seemed like it was like from an old shipyard or something stupid, but it was like painted all brown. It was ugly and fugly. And so when you go in the bathroom, the door would just jam up a little bit. I was playing More Than a Feeling. More than a feeling. You know that one? So I'm like, I'm loving it. I'm like, yeah, this is cool, man. This is cool. Like, I'm teaching my kids how to play pool. The song ends. Song ends, and all you hear is, this is my daughter. She was stuck in the fucking restroom. She was stuck in that restroom during More Than a Feeling, and she just got the shit scared out of her. I don't think I ever took them back there again after that. And then I was fired like 2 months later because of the, you know, the whole Bianca of it all. But yeah, when that girl, when I told her she was, hey, you're cut off, and she went to go hit me, and I jammed her head. I really hit it. I don't know if you've ever seen the Chappelle Show, but there's this one, and this was before. Wait, actually, this would have been after that even. This was after that was on, because the Chappelle Show was like 2004. I got divorced, so I remember watching it at one of my Chris's. I'd go watch a Chappelle Show, and he did this thing where Eddie Murphy's brother, Charlie Murphy, would fuck with fucking this singer from the 70s who just could not stop patting himself on the back. Everybody thought he was great. He sang a song called Super Freak. It was not that great. I mean, his music was not that great. But obviously, it was like a black thing, where this guy was real popular. Whereas in my world, I didn't know. I mean, I knew Super Freak, but I didn't give a shit. But he was talking about how, this guy Super Freak would fuck with them, and how he jammed his head off the bar, and you see these braids going, and that's kind of what it was like. I mean, I really got her. When I was working these jobs, and I'd work at this yacht club, and these girls, like I said, the girls that work there, they're young, okay? They're young, they're inexperienced, they don't know shit, okay? And people who have money have connections in this particular place that I worked at. Not only did they have connections, but their connections were connections. They kind of owned the stadium, and they owned this place, and they owned the high school, and weird things. You'd be like, what? So you'd see these weird old guys try to get these girls drunk. And one guy, his name was literally Richie Rich, picked us up. It was Mr. Rich, and he picked us up in a yacht. And it was I had a Chris at the time, and it was his birthday, and we decided to go on the yacht. We're going to go to Cleveland, around Put-in Bay, and go here and there in this yacht, and it's going to be so fucking great, and you'd finally get a day off, and you'll get to enjoy yourself, because when you work at a yacht club, you watch everybody else fucking having a great time, and it sucks, especially if there's a clam bake. Oh my God. Don't get me started on the clam bakes. Oh my God, I hate it. I hate it. And you'd have to take it all to a different fucking island. So you're taking everything, taking all the drinks, all the napkins, all the food, all the silverware, everything you fucking can even think of, you gotta take to a different island. So these guys, so we're on this boat with this Richie Rich guy, and we end up meeting all these. I think he's dead now. That's what I'm saying. It's been 20 years. So these other two rich guys, I mean, just they're all married. They all have, at this time, daughters, between 7 and 11 years old, because when you're part of a club like that, the parents all will go drink and do whatever. And when I say do whatever, I mean shots out of each other's wives' belly buttons. I mean cocaine off an ass. I mean, get out of here, kids. So they all go downstairs and play and run around the place like it's their grandparents' house. These guys, though, not Richie Rich. Richie Rich wasn't like this. Richie Rich wasn't like this. But the other two gentlemen, and I knew them from them acting out at the bar, because they were at the yacht club, and they would, like I said, they did cocaine off of each other's wives' asses. And at that time, they all got all the moms, which was weird, because I was a mom too. I never did this, but all the women got what's called a tramp stamp, like at the bottom of your base of your back, some kind of a tattoo. It's called a tramp stamp because you turn it around, yeah. But, she's Louise. So all these bitches had tramp stamps. In the meantime, they're like impossible to talk to, these people. They really did not treat me good. Not one fucking bit did they treat me. Everybody treated me like a peasant at that fucking place. I don't think we had one black, one Jew, one Asian, one Mexican, one Puerto Rican. Like, we didn't have anything else there but a bunch of whiteys, being a bunch of dicks. Fucking privileged, bullshitting fuckfaces. So, these two guys got these girls really, really, really drunk, okay? I'm just, my kids are probably like 6 or 8, somewhere around there at this time, and I'm just like, out with my boyfriend and away for his birthday, and then I'm like, where's so-and-so, Where is she? That's weird. She's not really with it to go anywhere. Where is she? This girl. Where is she? Where is she? I'll just call her Marissa. I can't remember her name, but that name, I'm just going to say Marissa, okay. This girl had a sister. They were both beautiful, beautiful, beautiful girls. I mean, like, classic beauty, like, unbelievable. They were smart, and they were sweet, and they were fun and fast. Like, you could joke with them, and they're with it, Man, I know these guys hired those girls at home, too, so I know that these girls have been to their house. I couldn't find Marissa, and I'm getting angry now. And I'm angry, okay? And my boyfriend Chris is like, shut up. This is my work, people. This is where I work. I go, fuck you, I work there too. I don't fucking care right now. We're not working right now. This girl's gone. Where the fuck is she? What the fuck? I'm looking for her everywhere. I ended up finding her. This time I found her. What happened later in the night? When I found her, it was probably like 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and I went into the bathrooms, and I could see, like, her shoes or something. Like, she was, like, sideways in the bathroom. She was just enough that if you try to open up the door, you can't open up the door. And I'm thinking, oh my God, like, is she dead? Did she vomit? Like, what's happening? Is she okay? She hit her head, did someone stuff her in there? Like, you don't know. And my mind's going bananas because I hadn't even had terrible, terrible things. I mean, I had been, situations, but just enough to keep me alert, Like, I mean, I was attacked when I was 7. I was, like, from what I understand, molested by my grandpa, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, whatever. But I'm, like, paying attention because even when I went to culinary school, I got raped the first week. So I do pay attention when these things happen. And, man, I had to slide. I slid, like, underneath the door and up like a snake because I had to get her out of there. Like, I didn't know what to do. I ended up being able to get her out and pull her out and sober her up. Later on that night, I walked onto a boat and she was getting raped by 2 guys. 2 men. 2 grown men. 9-year-old and 11-year-olds himself. That I just went and got all kinds of fucking daiquiris and French onion soup for. Her dad is raping this little girl who's 18 years old. Man, I'm not okay with any of this stuff. Like, when I remember being specifically grabbed and told, don't you fucking say a word. Don't you fucking say a word. And then it came to me like, we know where you live. We know what you do. One of those things. What the fuck are you talking about? You don't got shit on me. You don't got a fucking thing on me. I wasn't on disability at that time. I had 2 DUIs, but I mean, so what? And then, and I say that because I don't fucking care, okay? I was in a bad space in my mind. For me to get those 2 DUIs in 2 months, and this, I have never gotten, that since. This was 2004, but It's just the fact that I think it was kind of like God's catching me, like, stop it, settle down, you know? I don't know. It's just really weird when you think about how much this stuff happens and nobody says a fucking thing because they're so worried about themselves. I myself did not give a fuck. You know, if it came to my kids and they were going to call up my ex-husband and do that shit, yeah, it's on, okay? But it's on in a way like they wouldn't expect. Like, I'm going to show up at your fucking house and you won't see me because I'm going to be painted in the corner and you're not even going to know I'm in your house. So that's just the craziness of it all. Like, the whole time I'm thinking to myself, like, where does it stop? Now that it's been years that my kids cannot, now it's been at least 5 years that my children have been in high school and things like that, and college or whatever, and I've walked away from that situation. But when you cannot turn on the television right now and not see somebody going through a divorce, a child custody, and something, and not losing their fucking minds. Not only is everybody desensitized to it, but it's so fucking regular now. I mean, Trump just got shot at last night. And even then I'm thinking, like, I know I should care. I know I should care. But I'm almost thinking, like, come on. Right here. And the guy that shot him was shot immediately. I don't know. It just sounds like Lee Harvey Oswald shit. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. But yeah, kicking people out of bars is something I really enjoy doing. And one time I was working in B-dubs, and I remember BW3s, and it was like 3 to 2. And 2 o'clock, the kitchen closed. And these people come in, like, really swinging their dick around, too. Like, oh, we're gonna get this, we're gonna get that. I'm like, you're not getting a damn thing. Like, you gotta go. And you're like, oh no, we're not leaving. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Oh my goodness. So Shannon Dudley died, and she's 2 years older than me, and she kind of looks like me, and she had cancer like me. Kind of makes me sad, because I'm at that age now that I'm over half a century, and people are dying. People are dying and dropping and dying. There's stuff I see, I don't know what I'm looking at sometimes. I mean, I'm in my house, I'm trying not to get involved with people, and even though I'm like a social person, like if I walk into the weed dispensary, everybody's like, yay, but that's because you get me for 2 minutes, okay? Me, 2 minutes, great, wonderful, fucking fantastic. Me for days, I don't want to. And when I think about when I was married, and then I think about like my parents married, and I think about all this stuff, and I remember my husband saying stuff to me like, well, I gave you a list. He'd give me a list of stuff to do on the weekends, which I don't need your fucking list, okay? I've been doing this for not only our family, but many other families for many years, so stop doing that. Don't do that. Like, he'd say stuff like, you can't sit on the couch, like, you can't do this or you can't do that, or who left this out and who did that. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I don't want to live like that ever again. I don't care if I ever date anybody or get married. I don't like that. I don't like the thought that someone say to me, oh, you're sitting there again? Yeah, I am fucking sitting here. What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't know. I mean, I stay home, yeah, but I'll like try to do stuff like learn things. I go on Duolingo. I try to learn French and Italian and German and Russian. It's easy on that thing. It's fun. It's easy. You get to learn like conversational different languages, which I fucking love. And then I'll watch like YouTube and I'll learn stuff. Like I was just watching about these murders in Michigan, Detroit area. And these kids got taken and It was weird that I saw that because just before I had saw that, they call it the snow. I want to say the snow murders. The snow murders. Right before I had seen that, I watched another thing with this other guy, and they were talking about this Firefox Island. Well, the guy puts up like, or the paper, on the paper it has like circles and all this different, like shoots off. It kind of looks like a family tree. What it was this rich guy owns the island, and he's got that guy, this guy, that guy, you know, like we've got everybody under control. And then I see the next thing on the murders, the snow murders. Well, Detroit, in Michigan, the island's actually pretty fucking close to these children's murders and stuff. And like, another thing I noticed that I found really interesting is somebody, I guess one of the children, he was kept for 19 days. In his belly was like a chicken dinner or something like that. And I think when the mom went on, she said something like, I'm sure you'll love my son. He's very agreeable, and he likes chicken, and he has chicken dinner as his favorite, and he'll be real nice to you. And like, they're trying to talk this guy out of like, give me back my kid, please, 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 you know. And that just, so I've got that in my mind, right? And then they show what happened at this island. And the island's not far off of, I think it's like, this rich man, he bought the fucking island, and he was in with like a gym teacher from the school that the kids got taken from. Like, it's too much. It's too close. It's all too close. And then when they figured out, like, okay, it's this one guy, they were like, forget about it, he's dead. You know, no, you don't fucking forget about it, because somebody's sister is here, somebody's mom, dad, people killed themselves because of this or this and that. Like, you fucking find out. Find the fuck out who that was, because fuck that shit. As somebody who's had these things happen to them, it changes you. You're not going to be able to have relations with people the way that you think you're supposed to have relations with people. These men have all been touched. There's no way. That doesn't just happen, okay? You're not born and you decide to do that to people. That happens to you. So, then they were doing this thing about boy, man, love and all this stuff. And they were trying to make, I actually fucking remember this. It was in like the early 80s. Trying to sell it that men and boys should have relations and be close like that. And it's natural. And there's nothing wrong with that. Well, then why is he screaming? Why is he running away? There's nothing wrong with it? Why are you hiding it? Why don't you just fucking open up a store at the fucking end of the block then, bitch? Because it's wrong. And you know you're fucking wrong. You gotta go buy a fucking island? And it just makes me think when I'm watching this shit, I'm thinking, my God, I saw that. I've seen this stuff. Like, I've seen it. I seen it with my eyes. Okay, so after being homeless, I was like really like on, like, it's been 5 years and I'm still like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm hypersensitive. That's why I stay home, because I'm hypersensitive. And if I go someplace and someone starts screaming, I don't know what I do. My daughter was still in high school, and we were standing in line at Chick-fil-A, and I think I had just gotten a place for the first time in 2.5 years after being homeless. And somebody dropped their keys. There was like, if you've never gone to Chick-fil-A in the mall, it is always very busy. They sell chicken and lemonade and some waffle fries. It's very busy, okay? It's always fucking busy at Chick-fil-A, because no one knows how to make that chicken, I guess, or whatever. So your chicken's got drugs or something. Everybody's in love with that fucking chicken. Anyway, I digress. So somebody dropped, like, boop, like drops keys, okay? And I hear the keys. I turned around. My daughter had already picked up the keys and was after. It didn't take a second. She had picked up those keys. I grabbed her real quick, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're so weird. Like, what's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "That's how it's done. That's exactly how it's done." She picks up the keys, walks to them, they grab her arm, shut her mouth, she's out. And you'll never see her again. Ever. Alive, you know? I've never cared that much about anything to want to take it like that. So I don't really think like that. But as a person who's been victimized, when I heard those keys drop, it's never even happened to me, but I don't know whatever it was, I heard those keys drop. I turned around like a bat out of hell and grabbed my daughter, and she was pissed. She was not happy with me. She's like, "You make things weird. You know, why are you so fucking weird? And how dare you? And it's weird." Okay, you know what's weird? Getting dragged out of the mall and getting fucking raped and molested and stuff. That's what's weird to me. That's weird. So if I'm going to stop you with those keys, fuck yeah, I am. Fuck yeah, I am. I'd rather be told I'm weird all damn day. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. My daughter is a happy, well-adjusted woman at this point. It only takes something like that small. And it doesn't end there, because the person who is abused abuses. I could have gone either way. I easily could have gone either way. I mean, I think I was first abused like, 4 years old or something like that. And then I was like gang abused like 7. And then it kept happening and happening, because there's something that lets people know that you're a victim. There's something about you that lets them know I could get away with that with her. And me especially, I didn't have anybody around me saying, "It's not her, she's okay, don't hurt her, don't do that to her." I didn't have that. And when you don't have anybody around you to protect you, you become a target. And it's like wearing a sign. It says, "Come on, come get me." The fact that those guys on that yacht still fucking got done what they wanted to do that day, with permission of other males. The fact that I broke in that room and grabbed her out of there, and I did grab her out of there. I did. And I almost got the shit kicked out of me. I did grab that nurse out of the room. I did. I was ready to kill somebody. I would have killed those men if I had to. I don't know what happened to that girl, but she probably has kids right now. Do you think anybody would want to hear her tell that story? She was drunk and got taken advantage of by adults that had no fucking business going near her. They were in her late 40s at the time, wearing boat shoes and Gucci.